day, everybody. It is Calxiyn here, and thank you for attending Calxiyn's Royal Court today, where I am going to be doing my reaction and my discussion to ODDTAXI episode 10. I'm super excited, but before I get into it, remember to subscribe for more ODDTAXI videos and to get notified when I post ODDTAXI videos, since we do have 11, 12, 13. You want to be notified when I see like how all of this wraps up, of course. Join the Discord server if you want to talk about ODDTAXI with us, or just join the community in general. We have a really nice supportive community on there, even if you want to talk about like other stuff that's not related to ODDTAXI. And thank you to all the YouTube members and the patrons for making videos like this possible. If you want to directly support me while getting some cool rewards like my full-length timer and subtitle reactions, if you want to just like binge the rest of them, you guys can check out the Patreon for that. Even if you can't be patrons, I just really appreciate comments, and I hope that y'all will leave some. And without further ado, let's just get into it. Ooh, okay, so this is the comedy competition. Oh, they didn't make it. All of that work and they didn't make it. Oh, damn. 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 See, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, the high school kid. Yeah. I think that this actually may be good. I think that this makes a lot of sense. That's true. See? That's funny. They rile each other up in the same way. Damn. Damn. That may be true, though. Oh, so Dobu was like his mentor, and now... Yeah, now he doesn't respect Dobu anymore. Damn. See, he's trying to do what he said, but that edit is not very good, I feel. Oh, damn, see, now they definitely know. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. The Photoshop job isn't very good. So now it's definitely with Imai. Damn. Oh, Odokawa tried to give him advice, but... Are they, though? One of your girls is gonna get exposed to have a boyfriend in a minute. Like, you know. Oh, damn. Okay, so that's just a threat. Is it, though? Okay. Damn, what? Damn! Oh, and it all comes out. Oh, no! Damn. Damn. See, like, Kikihana paid for his mistake, but what about you? Oh, man, that's great. Look at him, like, holding his hands. He's, like, shaking. What? Explain what? How you manipulate old men into getting money? You know what I mean? Can't he be leading Odokawa into a trap, though? Really? This is so sus, bro. Like, y'all are in the middle of nowhere, bro. Ah, no! Dobu must be in the trunk, right? Come on! See, why would he let him take him out here? Oh, the drowning. That's so weird. Nice! Oh! Miho! Damn! Bro! Look at her! She's like, oh man, I'm about to fight you! Okay, Miho, okay! Damn, didn't she actually, like, cut a bitch? Damn! Oh, look at her face! Okay, okay! I think that Miho's okay, actually. I didn't think that she was. Now I'm like, okay. Bro, you just almost tried to kill him, bro. Like, you know? You want to see the band be successful. So, just be like that. Oh, the dirt must be the missing girl. Damn. Damn. See, his dirty laundry must be the missing girl. Maybe I do like them now. Like, I like Miho now. Ah, damn, Dobu's brainwashing me. Damn. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Like, everyone's been brainwashed. Oh, damn. Damn. Wait, what? Damn! Oh, but there must be another bug somewhere? Oh, but... Right. Damn! Maybe put it in somebody else's car. Damn! Okay, Odokawa, that's so true. Now this is gonna be interesting because Boss frequents this sauna, right? Damn. Damn. Will Odokawa discover it? Damn! Oh no! Oh. Hmm. Oh. Oh. See, why did he ask him about if Odokawa needs money? Because I think he's the secret guy, like, in the foundation, and he knows that Odokawa's parents were killed, right? You know what I'm saying? Oh, no! Damn, this is creepy. This is too real. Oh, Imai! Oh. Oh, see, but now the manager. Damn. Oh. Oh, see, he won't check all 10. Okay. Oh, see, so he's also going to steal Yano's money. Okay. Okay, okay. Then we'll go back for the rest of the money. I get it, I get it, I get it. Damn. Damn. Oh, damn, he's like, just please do something about the guy that's trying to kill me, because Odokawa has a lot of money already, right? Oh, I don't think Odokawa was gonna be able to do that. Bro! Wait. It is Mitsuya! Oh my god, it must be Mitsuya, right? So that means that the missing girl is Mitsuya, but somebody killed who used to be Mitsuya, like I said. So Odokawa is breaking Dobu's plan, though. Oh, he doesn't want to miss the concert. And you'll get your money. Yeah, okay, okay, okay. Oh. Oh. That is true. So listen to what Odokawa says, I think. Hmm. Well, lame. You know what I mean? And so the missing girl is Mitsuya, but Mitsuya is the missing girl, bro. Oh my god, really? I think so. Because that was the whole thing, because, oh my god, guys, that makes me so satisfied, because we had the whole thing from Shiho, like, I liked Mitsuya better before, right? And now we know why she liked her better before, bro. Oh my god, I need to lie down. Oh yeah, because, okay, so the pen was with the manager, and so now, like, this makes sense. But is this before the Mitsuya news or after, is the question. Oh, wait. No, that's... What was that? Are we supposed to see how good she is at lying or acting? Oh, damn. 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 Does it? Oh, okay. Mitsuya! Damn. All right, everybody, let us get into the review. And this episode had some crazy stuff towards the end. Oh my god. But first, we check back in with the comedians who have not gotten into the next round. Apparently, there is a loser's bracket, though, and I'm assuming that means that it's possible that they could, like, win the loser's bracket and then get a spot. Like, that's kind of the implication, I would think, right? And so they did not get in. And so then Baba is just like, well, I gotta peace out, I gotta go, right? You didn't make it. And so then obviously we see a Giraffe guy who's been making the audio dramas again. Nagashima, I guess is how you would say his name. You came to watch. Why didn't you do the joke about the cafe hideaway? If I were a musician, I wouldn't put my hit songs on my best of albums. See, that's kind of a weird thing to say. Like, I don't get it. Wouldn't you though? Because, like, your hit songs are supposed to be your best of. Oh, maybe he thinks that, like, his best aren't necessarily his hits, you know, like, just because something is popular doesn't mean it's the best of, right? And so I feel like that's kind of his weakness, is he's still focused on pleasing himself instead of, like, when you're at a competition, you're supposed to, like, please the audience, right? That's why you haven't succeeded. Even if it's not what you want, you have to put, you have to be someone that has a best of album with hits, right? And so I feel like that's the idea, is that he is so determined to not, like, include what is popular in his best that he's, like, sabotaging himself. And I think it's true that they didn't have enough time together either, but, like, I feel like that Baba has basically, like, I don't want to say he's not committed anymore, but, like, he's not, right? And so, yeah, then we have a joke here that, like, doesn't land. Don't make me explain it, right? And so then he says, you should team up with me, right? What? You're splitting up this year if you don't make it, right? I promise we'll make it big together. I can even write jokes. See, that's kind of interesting though, because I feel like that on one hand, I feel like that he should do it. You know, on the other hand, this would be like if I was at a convention and Hunter wasn't doing videos with me anymore and somebody, like, came up to me and was like, oh, I'll be your new recording partner. And I was just like, what? You know what I mean? Like, you need a bit more than, like, just, I don't know, a pitch, I guess you could say, right? Like, this kid has, like, no experience other than, like, his audio drama show, I guess. You know, like, I think that it is true that he can draw out the best qualities. I think that their little conflict is kind of funny, even though that they say it's not, right? I can show you the view from the top, right? And so I'm like, that's interesting that he thinks that if I team up with a high school student now, people will say I finally lost it. What are you gonna do after you split up then? Think you can make it by yourself? And I think this I thought was funny though. I think, like, oh yeah, like, you're obnoxious. How obnoxious? As loud and annoying as a convenience store ATM. Like, they said that wasn't funny, but, like, I think that, like, it is kind of, like, bringing out, like, that conflict that he had with Baba, right? Like, when Baba was all riled up, it was funny because you didn't bring out my best qualities, right? And so I think that that's, like, I don't know. I think that they could do something together. At the same time, well, they do say that there's still the loser's bracket, so maybe what will happen is, like, Baba will, like, get over it, you know what I mean? I don't want to say it like that, but, like, get over himself, you know, and, like, realize that he should, like, go back to his roots or be more, like, grounded it or something. Maybe like Rui will like make him realize that, because I feel like that Rui is up to no good. Oh yeah, okay, so that reminds me, I'm sorry about misinterpreting the audio drama. It was actually Rui that was talking, not Shiho. And so Yamamoto said, stop worrying about it. I know it's hard to push out of your mind, but that aside, you never know who might be listening, even in a rehearsal studio. So that makes it sound like to me that Rui was involved in like the murder, right? Because I feel like that she was saying like, you know, like, what's gonna happen now? Like she was like worrying about it because I think it was on the news, right? And so it's like, stop worrying about it. I know it's hard, but like, don't, you know, we can't even talk about it because somebody may be listening. So I think that Rui could be involved somehow, especially because I still think that she's the one who shot Dobu. And like, she also says that she played the secrets game too early or something, right? And so she almost is like, oh yeah, well I played it off as like some silly game or something, right? And so it kind of implies that she made maybe fake secrets or was trying to get the other girl's secret, maybe so she can like blackmail them in the future. I have no idea. But like she says that she played that card too early for like the bonding, like Rui hasn't really like bonded with the other girls, right? So I think she's definitely involved. I think that she did something. I don't know what she did, but she definitely did something. If you want to be an entertainer, find someone your own age. Don't try to ride off my flimsy coattails, right? And so I feel like, though, that he's not trying to, like, clout chase. I feel like that, like, he genuinely wants to help, right? Because he's like, Baba has no motivation, right? So I don't know, I think he should think about it. So this is interesting. Got interesting news from our unlicensed doc. You know the guy? And so that's kind of weird, because obviously Goriki is licensed. So I'm not entirely sure what he means, but like the news is about Dobu showed up in a fancy new ride. And so that's kind of weird. Shot in the thigh. It seems like the culprit's the one who stole his gun. If boss finds out, Dobu better run, right? And so I feel like that he's saying, first of all, Dobu has a new car and he got shot. But like, who's the unlicensed doc? Like that's the part I don't get. Like, I don't understand. And so I think that this is interesting because he sort of like describes Dobu as like someone that used to be like a mentor. And you see, like, I feel like that the bear guy has like no shits to give, right? We used to be brothers in arms, fates intertwined, two flowers blossoming for the boss both aligned. He taught me to use people and money, rinse and repeat. So it's like Dobu was kind of like his senpai, if you want to call it that. Showed compassion to a country kid raised on the streets, right? So it's like Dobu was his mentor, taught him like everything that he knows, but now he's like, he wants, you know, he has my respect, or he had my respect and my affection, but now he sees like, you know, Dobu's gone soft, like he's like not the man that like, you know, lifted me up and taught me everything I know, so I need to like, you know, put him in his place. Like, I almost wonder if Yano hopes that the further that he escalates, Dobu will go back to how he used to be. But maybe Dobu was never like that on the in the first place, if that makes sense. Like, he sort of had this image of Dobu being like a cold, hard criminal or something, and now he's like, Dobu's gone soft. But what if Dobu hasn't gone soft, but it was just looking at him through like rose-tinted glasses? You know what I mean? We also have some fruit drops or something. I don't know if that's going to be important, but I feel like that they focused on it a little bit. And so, yeah, he's like, your lack of experience led to defeat. You were sloppy. So deliver this declaration of war for me. It'll be a scramble for that 1 billion yen spot. Meanwhile, the loser will get to watch his criminal career drop, right? And so I feel like he's like, you know, if I light a fire under Dobu, maybe I can have the old Dobu back. Odokawa says something very interesting and is like, they can't talk about their feelings because they're idiots. And that's why they use violence, right? And so I wonder if this is about their feelings, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's about Yano's like feelings towards Dobu and Dobu like not being the same as before and stuff like that. Like, I feel like that maybe that is the vibe or something. Like, it's something like that, you know what I mean? Like, I think that that's kind of interesting when you think about it almost that way. Like, when you think about it in the context of like, oh, you know, they just they're just violent because they don't know how to talk about their feelings. Like, Yano just wants the old Dobu back, and there's a lot of like emotion behind that. And then they see that Imai like photoshopped like his lottery numbers or something, but then you zoom in and you can actually see there's like some errors, I guess, like from like the Photoshop marks or something like that. I think that that's what's kind of implied, is that he photoshopped the numbers, and you can also see, right, that the 7 is not aligned. with the rest, and so you can tell that that part's photoshopped. Imai did not do a good job, okay? When your life is at stake, maybe make sure to align the 7, okay? Or maybe it wasn't even like the 7 that was no, it must have been the 7 that's misaligned, because everything else is like in a straight order. But you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? When your life's at stake, Imai, maybe maybe try a little harder. And so yeah, they're like, oh yeah, the 1 billion yen is definitely with Imai, right? And so that's like the whole thing. It's a very famous amateur mistake. Does he think he's sly? And so then he basically tells the bear guy to like cyber stalk him, right? Sorry for calling you so often, Odokawa. The guy offering to pay 9 million yen for your dash cam is a Yakuza. And I'm like, sir, you're not much better. You know what I mean? He just thinks that like, you know, Odokawa doesn't know, you know what I mean? I'm telling you this for your sake, right? So then he kind of like threatens him, like, I'm willing to use force. And then Odokawa was like, well, you're showing your true colors, aren't you? Right? Like, I know that you're Yakuza too. And he's like, ah, just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Da, 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 da. Of course they are. Don't you know? This isn't about money anymore. This is our dream. And so I wonder if the manager just got involved with Yano to further his dream. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that the manager was always involved in the boss's like criminal organization, but rather he joined the Yakuza to get the money to make the group successful. And then Odokawa says, that's too bad, I was rooting for you, like in the context of like the dreams, right? Like, you know, you wanted them to be successful, but you have Ichimura running Badger games because she's not successful, right? Like, I feel like that was kind of the implication, like this, you wanted the group to be successful, so maybe you joined the Yakuza and you've been like up to no good, but like clearly your dream isn't coming true because Ichimura is running Badger games, right? And look at the look on his face, he's like, like, you know what I mean? He's like, uh-oh, Kikihana is my friend. Of course, he's a hopeless idiot. It was his fault, but he paid for his mistake already. How about you then? Have you gotten what you deserve yet, right? And so I just love like Odokawa so much in these scenes. And I think that this was sus as fuck. Like, why did Odokawa just let him like take him in like a deserted area? You know what I mean? I guess Miho was there, but like, was Miho supposed to be, like, how did Miho know to be there, right? Our side of the story. Naturally, we'll apologize to Kikihana as well. Oh, could you turn left here, right? And so that's the weird part is like, I'm like, how did Miho know to go there, right? Did I say Shiho before? Anyway, you guys know what I mean. I'm not interested in exposing you to the public or anything. I appreciate that. Next, right? Like, he just like takes him into this like, you know, construction site. And I think that that's like sus as fuck, right? Once this is all over, I'll even give you over my dash cam data. In other words, why don't you side with me? Betray whoever you're working for. So he's basically saying, hey, I'll give you the dash cam data. I just want you to betray Yano, right? And so that's like the whole like vibe of this. He's like, hey, like, I'll give you what you want. You know what I mean? I won't even like, I don't even care about the money. I just want you to like betray Yano and stop like doing the bads. You know what I mean? Stop doing the evils, right? And join me instead. And so yeah, I'm just like, Odokawa, like, why did you think that this was a good idea? And how did Miho know to come here? Unless, but no, that wouldn't make any sense. Because, no, I mean, because Odokawa has the GPS in his truck, but that's like Skullmask put that there. Like, why would Miho do that? Like, Miho's not gonna work with Skullmask, right? So that doesn't make any sense, like, unless she also bugged his car in some way, right? You know what I mean? What do you mean betray? You're after the 1 billion yen, I'm protecting it. On top of that, I'm gonna take down both whoever's behind you, so that's Yano, and then the guy behind me, so that's the implication is that's Dobu, right? I've considered the situation as calmly as I can. He doesn't seem like he wants to kill him, but then he's like, you know, oops, I guess no matter how I look at it, I don't see how a single taxi driver can beat us. So I love that. It kind of reminds me of that cut where Tachi like turned towards Dobu and Dobu was already gone. Like, he looks in the mirror and suddenly Yamamoto is like gone. And then he starts to strangle Odokawa, okay, which obviously I cannot show. I'll kill you and take everything. And I don't know if he was expecting that outcome, but I'm like, bro, why did you go with him to this dark alley, right? So what's interesting is that as this is happening and Odokawa's choking, you see like the bubbles, right? And so this could be a couple things. Like, one, it could be possible that the car accident with his parents, the car actually ended up going into the water, and he didn't drown. Obviously, Odokawa was alive, but he was close to drowning, and then he was rescued while his parents were drowned. That could be why he has the fear of water, or something like that. Or alternatively, I have this theory that because of the OP, Odokawa is going to die. Like, he is going to die at the very end, and he's going to die like in the water, if that makes sense. And so this could be, I guess, like foreshadowing, you know, like I can't die yet because I'm gonna die later, you know, like seeing his death in 4K or something. Like, I don't have the trope for that. But there is kind of like that trope where, like, instead of seeing your life flash before your eyes, you see like a future premonition of what your actual death would be, right? And so I think it could either be one of two things. The car accident ended up with the car in the water, and that's why Odokawa has a fear of water. And he's remembering the water incident because he is being choked, right? And so he remembers when he was a child and he could not breathe, right? Because the strangling feels like functionally similar, I guess you could say. So the car accident, the car ended up in the water. He was the only one that got out and rescued his parents drowned. Or it could be like some sort of psychic ability. Maybe Odokawa is psychic, and so he sees that his death will actually be when he drowns, like in the thing or something. You know what I mean? It's not yet, bitch. Basically, not death, not today. You know what I mean? Like, not dying today. So I don't know. It could be either one of those things. It could even be both, because I think that something very poetic would be that, like, Odokawa almost drowned, but like lived. And then it's almost like he died from whence he came. Because you could say, like, the Odokawa that we have now only exists because his parents died in that accident. So it's almost like Odokawa was reborn in the water that day. Like, you could have it have like a biblical kind of significance. Like, when people get baptized, like, you have like all those stories of people getting baptized in the lake and, like, you know, getting dunked in and coming out. Like, you could say that Odokawa being in that car accident with his parents and possibly ending up in the water, that was like his baptism or his like rebirth to the Odokawa that we have now. The Odokawa that has like all these problems, obviously. And the Odokawa that developed like synesthesia as a result of like that like accident, right? We could say, you know, that's when the new world started to develop for Odokawa. And so from whence he was born is also like where he will die. And so it's like a circle, right? Like, again, he ended up like from whence he came and stuff, you know? And so I think that could actually be like very metaphorical. Now the question is, how the fuck did Miho know that they were there, right? Unless she also bugged Otokawa's car. And so she literally fights him and like, look at her face. And I'm like, okay, this is like Miho redemption, not gonna lie. You know what I mean? Like, seeing her kick ass and kick him in the face and like saving Odokawa, because I thought she was very ingenuine about her love. But I kind of posited the idea last week that maybe the reason why she thought that she loved Odokawa was because she spent a lot of time, I don't want to say like jumping from guy to guy, but I mean in the context of like emotionally, is that she may have developed some like issues because of like Dobu, and she was jumping to another guy like for emotional security. Like, that's very like a common how do you say? That's very common, like a psychological thing that happens, right? It's kind of like, you know, like if you suffer like trauma, you're looking for that safety net. And so you always want to be in a relationship. You always want to love someone. But then because of your like trauma, you end up being in a relationship with abusive people, you know? And like, listen guys, I'm not a doctor, okay? I'm not a psychologist. I took psychology 101. I didn't even get like a psychology minor, okay? But it's just something that I've heard. Don't come for me. I don't know if that's true, okay? Again, like, who let me in here? You know, how do I have the authority to speak? I don't. I'm just speaking, right? You know, and so anyway, so we get like little like jokes for some reason. I don't really understand what happened here. And so they basically said like, see, like, that's what I've been saying from the start, bro. Like, I told you my condition, just betray Yano and like you'll be like forgiven, quote unquote, right? And if I do, Mystery Kiss will be protected if things go well. I'm sure she doesn't want to run Badger games. What exactly should I do? Allow yourself to be caught by the police while you're stealing the 1 billion yen. That's it. That's easy. Won't I be arrested too? And it's like, tell them that you were threatened, okay? I mean, aren't you actually being threatened? And here's the thing, right? It's all coming together. It's actually a problem for me if they ask why I was being threatened, right? Because the dirt that they have on him is killing the girl, I think, either accidentally or on purpose or covering it up, right? Like, I think that Rui did it at this point and that he may have covered it up for the sake of the band and found someone that looked like Mitsuya to like cover it up and everything. Like, he didn't pull the trigger of the gun, but he still covered it up, and he could be hiding the fact that Rui did it, and that could be like a thing. Because what if Mitsuya was originally supposed to be the lead and Rui wasn't, and then Rui killed her? Like, you know, fake, I guess not fake Mitsuya, but like original Mitsuya, you know what I mean? Like, killed the missing girl, right? So she could get the lead, and then he replaced Mitsuya with current fake Mitsuya. Oh my god, okay. We'll have to talk about that later. So I think that that's the dirt that they have on him, right? And so I think that Rui was the one that shot Dobu. Now, why? I guess just because Dobu's like messing with her shit, I guess you could say, right? And so he's like, hey, like, if you won't help me, I can turn you in now and you'll get like plenty of jail time for what you've been doing, right? And so he says it's the only way to protect Mystery Kiss. So see, that's his priority. So if Rui committed a crime, would he not cover it up? Is my question. I think that he would. And Shiho had that line where it was like, oh, you know, Rui would kill someone, you know, for her ambition. Maybe she already has. And that's fucked up because like Rui seemed genuinely like sweet and stuff with Baba, but then like if she's the murderer, that's like so like unexpected and like fucked, right? And so yeah, he's like, oh, you know, I'm already involved. I don't have a choice. And so lately I've been thinking that Dobu may not be such a bad guy after all, right? So Odokawa says that, and like Miho basically agrees. But then he's like, oh, but then I thought that must be some kind of Dobu brainwashing, right? But then Miho's like, well, you know, he has good qualities. He's been brainwashed by the boss, but then he also is committed to the boss. Like, dedication to the boss is a good quality, I guess you could say. But then Odokawa was like, nope, I just decided I'm gonna punish him after all. Like, fuck what you said, Miho. You defended him too hard, and now, like, I've been, like, pushed over the edge. And I think this is interesting. In the real world, good isn't always rewarded, and evil isn't always punished. And so I think that, like, you know, no good deed goes unpunished sort of thing is, again, foreshadowing to, like, Otokawa's fate. Is that maybe some people will be held accountable? Right, that maybe justice will be found for the missing girl, but justice will never be found for, like, Odokawa, and that's, like, the big tragedy, is that, yes, like, some evil was punished, but he ultimately died. Like, that could be, like, the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? If I didn't get involved, you'd be dead by now, Odokawa. And so that's the question, is, like, how did she know, like, where to find him, right? And so then he realizes, like, oh, you know, the window's broken. And that reminds him of, like, why was his window broken the first time? For unrelated reasons. And so he's like, oh, yeah, for something unrelated. And then Miho's just like, bro, what the fuck, right? And so Odokawa goes on to say, he's been able to determine my location to an unnatural degree. You mean he planted a GPS? That's right. After my car window was broken, someone fired a shot into my house. It's an unnaturally plain way to harass someone, don't you think? The culprit probably suddenly found me around the city and hid a phone in my car as a temporary measure, but the battery would run out eventually, so they found my home, broke into my car window, and got their phone back, then replaced it with a battery-less GPS. So that was like the whole thing, right? And so yeah, they're still trying to kill you though. Well, at least now that they can't find me, I'm gonna find a way to use this against them. Imagine, oh god, imagine he brings this to the bank, like he plants it on Dobu, and then Skullmask goes to the bank, and then everyone just gets arrested. You know what I mean? Like, Dobu gets arrested at the bank, Yamamoto gets arrested at the bank, Yano gets arrested at the bank, Skullmask comes with a gun, he gets arrested at the bank. Like, that'd be so funny if he planted it at the bank to make Skullmask think he was at the bank, and then he actually goes, right? And so now he's working 2 jobs so he can, like, pay off his debt. That's Kikihana, I should say. And so obviously I gotta cover all this up. I know there's no bits, but, like, I don't know how YouTube feels about, you know, shirtless walrus, I guess you could say. And so they have a weird conversation about, like, oh, you know, it's cold outside. It's already December. So that actually gives us a timeline. I didn't know that it was December. 1 minute it was Halloween, and now it's, like, not Halloween. It's, like, December, right? It's called heat shock. So that's interesting. I wonder if that could be a reference to, like, what if, like, the sudden change in body temperature happened to Odokawa when he, like, fell in the water in the parents' car accident, and that, like, somehow causes, like, synesthesia, like the cold shock, kind of the opposite. This place is always empty, isn't it? Because you're here, right, with his tattoos out for everyone to see, because that's something I actually said a couple episodes ago, is that tattoos are still, like, very taboo in Japan, and so I definitely, like, considered that. How do you know my name? Because people thought you were the kidnapper, right? Is he a cop? No, there's no way. I'm sorry I suspected you, taxi driver. I would never do that. I still think there's a 5% chance you did it though, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. And so he has a weird look on his face here that makes me kind of worried. Like, he looks and then he looks down, you know, and I'm like, uh-oh, right? Because I don't think he did it. I think that Rui killed her. You know what I mean? But I feel like something's going on, is that maybe he knows something about it. But I still think that there's something going on. Like, I still think that, well, at the end of this episode, then he's like, wait a minute, like, that's not it. You know what I mean? Like, the girl on the TV, that's not the girl that I had in my taxi or something. Like, we'll talk about it. Anyway, Odokawa do not want money. So I think that, like, my theory about the boss being the secret, like, orphanage foundation owner is correct now, because he's asking about money, and he would know, right? Like, he would know about Odokawa, right? Actually, I do have one problem. I don't want more than befits my stature. All I want is to be able to repay the people who helped me little by little to the best of my ability. So isn't that interesting? Because what if he finds out that the boss is the one that helped him all throughout his life, right? And that would be hilarious if the criminal organization for the Yakuza, right, like, basically is functioning and doing crime in order to give money to orphans, right, and set orphans up for life. Odokawa was one of those orphans, and now he is taking them down for doing evil, because yes, they did evil, but I think that's interesting that Miho said, like, not everything's black and white all the time, right? Is that, like, what if the Yakuza, like, that doesn't, like, you know, negate the Badger games or the murders or anything, but what if they were doing it, like, for the orphans? Like, that'd just be hilarious if Odokawa takes down the people that, like, basically helped him to survive, you know? And so that's so funny. Like, will his mind change later? Because he's like, I'm gonna take down Dobu and I'm gonna take down the boss, but this guy's the boss. And so what if by taking him down, like, you're not helping, right? Because, like, he's somebody that helped him. He wants to repay the people that helped him while the boss helped him, and now he's taking down his Yakuza organization, right? And so, yeah, and so he said, yeah, I'm glad to hear that you don't want for money, because I supported your life, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I sort of see it. I think that's very fascinating. And so then they found Imai, and the way that they did this was so fucking creepy. And, like, I've actually legitimately heard of this happening to, like, influencers and stuff. Like, they post pictures of where they are on vacation, and then the fans, like, go, like, hunting for, like, the location that they're at. So creepy, very unsettling. I hate this, right? Like, it just makes me feel, like, so uneasy. And so I'm not gonna go through all of it, but it's like, oh, you know, the departure of the train melody is in the background from his social media post, and there's only 3 stations that use that melody on this line. And then he also responded to a friend saying he'd be there in 30 minutes or 50 minutes, and there's only 1 station, right? It takes him 50 minutes to get there, so he must be at blank station, because I looked at it on Google Maps. And then the tweet that he moved had this angle, like, from a window, and the wallpaper looks like this rental property. Like, fuck me, bro. Like, this is, like, the creepiest shit. Like, I hate this. I hate it here. It made me feel, like, so uneasy. You cyber stalked him excellently. I knew you'd get it done, but I gotta admit, it gives me the creeps. It does. It really, really does, and I hate it here, right? And so then he's basically saying that Dobu underestimates me because he thinks I'm a herbivore. So again, right, they're not really animals. It's all, like, metaphorical. The spines, the porcupine stuff, right? And so, yeah, Yano's just, he's big chillin'. He's kind of weird, you know what I mean? And so then we get basically, like, the plan. And so Yamamoto actually contacted him about, like, finding Imai, because I guess Yamamoto also helped in, like, the social media search. It was sort of implied because, like, the bear said, like, oh, I'll get everyone on it, right? So that probably included Yamamoto. Anyway, I finally understand the plan now. Like, I finally get it, okay? So there's 1 billion yen split into a bunch of suitcases, but there's going to be 1 real one and then a bunch of fake ones, okay? Yano is going to check the real one, be like, okay, everything's good right here, let's go for it, right? And then basically they will take all the fake ones with them because they won't want to, like, check all 10, right? And then they will take the rest of the real money while Yano takes all of the counterfeit money. And so they'll already be gone by the time he comes here and, like, robs the place, right? And so I think that that's great. As soon as they leave, I'll acquire the 90 million. And so, yeah, at that point, you've won. It doesn't end there, though. They've issued a declaration of war. And I feel like this is a problem. Like, I feel like that, like, you know, cut your losses, Dobu, or not even your losses. Quit while you're ahead, okay? Because I feel like that him doing this is going to be bad. You know what I mean? Like, to put it lightly, I think that, like, there's going to be a moral, how do you call it? A moral fable, if that makes sense? The moral of the story, right? Don't be fucking greedy, because he's so greedy that he's going to, and it's not just about greed, it's more about pride, right? Like, Dobu doesn't need all that money, he just wants to steal it from Yano to rub it in his face. But that sort of pridefulness is gonna get them all in trouble, I swear to God, right? So anyway, yeah, they basically explained the plan. I did not understand the plan at all. Like, you know what I mean? I did not understand the plan initially, like when they were explaining it. Now I totally get it. And so then they say along the way, Big Daimon's patrol car will probably stop them around there. And so that's really interesting because like I had all, like this theory that like Big Daimon and Little Daimon, like Little Daimon doesn't seem to be the type to work with the Yakuza. Like he seems to have a genuine strong sense of justice, but like very early on in the anime, I had a theory that like one brother was working with Dobu and the other was working with Yano. So what if even this patrol thing doesn't work? But I think that what's implied is that Odokawa, it's not even gonna like get to the point where everyone leaves in their cars, if that makes sense. Like everyone is going to be captured at the bank, seems to be like the implication. So we're not even getting this far because he calls Little Daimon to be like, hey, there's gonna be a robbery on this day, and then you can catch Yano, right? You can catch the manager, you can catch Dobu, you can catch everyone. So I feel like that this whole like patrol thingy won't even like matter, right? Because Odokawa seems to want to like cut it off at like the root of the bank, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? He wants to like chop like the bud off. Like the bud is the bank and then the stem is like the road. He just wants to chop, you know, the head off the hydra, so to speak. He's not even gonna let it like get that far, right? But I think that it was nice that they like showed the plan, and I liked like the little graphic that they did for it. I think that that definitely made it more clear on second watch. On first watch, I was like, what the fuck is happening? I'm so confused. And then they throw in you know, we're gonna say the title of the anime, right? You know, but then I like how they almost like are self-aware, right? You're acting like that's supposed to sound cool. Like I like that sort of like, you know, playing into it, right? Because a lot of anime and movies and stuff do that, but now it's like, oh yeah, you think that's cool? Like not really, right? And so then we'll split the rest. And then Otoka was like, I don't need any. I already gave you my conditions. I really don't want any. Your risk of being arrested isn't zero. So I feel like the implication with that is like, you really don't want anything because like, you know, you could still be arrested, but like, even if you're arrested and come out in 5 years, you'll still have some money. I'm sure that the police would seize that though. They'd probably seize the money, right? But I guess it's more like Otokawa, like you're gonna do this and like, you don't even have like incentive, right? Like I feel like that's more his mentality because like, you know what I mean? That first thing didn't make any sense. See, all Otokawa wants is something done about Skull Mask because he just wants to live his normal life, and I don't think that that's going to work out. Skull Mask's target might be me now. He actually shot me. So see, that's why I think Otokawa is gonna plant the bug at the bank to get Skull Mask to like basically like go for Dobu. You know what I mean? And then he gets rid of everyone. Everyone gets arrested. You know. Once this operation is over, we'll go our separate ways. Now that it's nearly over, tell me the truth. Who is this girl? What's this photo? A screenshot from your dash cam data. So it seems like Dobu like looked through it. That's the missing high school girl? Your boss's classmate's daughter? No, but she's the only one from your dash cam that matches her description, right? And so I think by no, Dobu means like, I don't know for sure. Like, that's why I'm asking you. Like, I can't be sure of it. I'm just asking. Like, she's the only one that fits your description. So do you remember like where you drove her, right? I see, I've driven her before, huh? She's the mystery kiss girl. So it sounds like the missing girl is Mitsuya, but the fake Mitsuya, the Mitsuya that was there before Mitsuya died, that seems to be the implication, is that the girl that he drove was the mystery kiss girl, right? And that now, that mystery kiss girl is Mitsuya, you know? But that wouldn't make any sense. No, but that would mean that that would mean the missing girl never got in his taxi because it was fake Mitsuya that got into his taxi, not real Mitsuya. Right? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, the missing girl was never in his taxi to begin with. That's kind of the implication, isn't that? You know what I mean? Because like the implication of that is like, oh yeah, I've driven her before. That's the mystery kiss girl. Or does he like, is he realizing that they just look the same? You know what I mean? He's like, that's a mystery kiss girl, isn't it? But then it's not, right? You know? Anyway, I think that that's more clear when we get to the end. Meanwhile, Goriki is out in like the boonies doing some investigation. And so what's weird is that it seems like that's like a school principal or something. Because like there's like photos on the wall. But yeah, or I guess maybe like the leader of like the orphanage or something. That could be the implication too. That's where I got confused. Yano will go after Imai tomorrow. After that, they'll go to the bank to begin their process and then confine him at their hideout. Yano, Sekiguchi, and I will bring Imai to the bank, right? So this is Yamamoto basically explaining like what they're going to do, right? It's just like Dobu predicted, huh? Nothing. What should I do? When they hand over the money, they'll probably check the contents of just one case. Check all of them. And so that's interesting, is that like Odokawa was causing discourse because he's going to tell Yamamoto to check the money and find like the counterfeit bills and stuff. It should make Yano's crew freak out, play along with them. The police will handle the rest. You know what I mean? And so I guess the police are going to come there, maybe, hopefully. As long as you can call the police, they'll arrest Yano for blackmail. So he's actually saying for Yamamoto to call the police. But I think that like Odokawa was also calling Little Daimon as well. But at the very least, you'll have protected Mystery Kiss. As long as I can protect Mystery Kiss, I'll do my best, he says, right? And then he starts to call Little Daimon. So that's Odokawa. So it actually seems like that, oh, now I understand. So the orphanage was closed down, and so he had nobody to ask there. So he was at the orphanage, but it was how do you call it? Not boxed up, like with wood and stuff. It was like shuttered, if that makes sense. So then he was like, ah, shit, like the orphanage is closed, so I'll go to the school. That's why the principal thing makes sense. I'm so dumb, guys. I totally missed that, but good thing I have screenshots, right? So then Odokawa basically tells him, like, I'll be brief. This is what you gotta do, X, Y, and Z. And so I really like their little conversation here, but there isn't really like anything to it, I guess. You know what I mean? And other than like, oh, but the Mystery Kiss CD releases in a week, I can't be kidnapped. Like that's his mentality, right? Like, I know it'll be hard, but until then I need you to do what Yano's crew tells you. If you can make it that far, they'll be arrested by the police. If you can be patient for 1 week, both you and Mystery Kiss will be free. And so I'm wondering a bunch of things, like when Imai's in captivity, is he gonna realize that Rui is like not the girl, you know, he thought she was, that she's been like up to no good, a bunch of stuff like that. And besides, I only got this money because of you, right? So it makes sense to like listen, you know, it's not something I had before all this. Even if I lose it, my life will just go back to how it was before. And so I'm like, that's a good, you know, how do you say it? That's a good mentality, but I disagree, and here's why. Even if he loses the money, during the process, he will gain the knowledge of how Rui really is, and that will shatter his worldview and make him stop supporting Mystery Kiss forever. And so I think that, like, yes, like his life would go back to normal financially, but if he never won the money, he would have never gotten involved with the Yakuza, and that means he would have never found out how Rui genuinely is, like, as a person, right? And so I feel like that it's almost like he will be broken out of his, like, naivete, I guess you could say, right? Like, he will find out the truth because of the money. And so if he never won the money, he could live in ignorant bliss, but his ignorant bliss is going to be broken. That's sort of my opinion, and that'll be like the moral. And so yeah, I was so dumb. So we went to the school instead. He's not the principal of the orphanage. Anyway, there's a lack of information about his accident. I'm asking around about it. Is he seriously ill? His accident was, and so it seems like maybe one of two things. This faded to black, and so maybe we won't know until Odokawa tells us, or we're gonna see it next episode because they did cut, right? The body found in Tokyo Bay in October has been identified. The deceased is resident Mitsuya, 18 years old. So here's the thing. So the body is identified as Mitsuya, right? Mitsuya was a member of the idol group Mystery Kiss, but won't this make the fans realize that the current Mitsuya has been fake? Because they say fans have been shocked by the sudden news of her death, but she's been dead for 2 months. So it's not like she just died. You know what I mean? It's not like she just died, right? Won't the fans be like, wait, if she died 2 months ago and she's the missing girl from 2 months ago, who's the Mitsuya that we've been watching for the past 2 months, right? Like, aren't the fans gonna figure this out? You know, it's not her. And so that's interesting, is that he says, that's not her. So that's not the missing girl, or that's not Mitsuya, or like, what does that mean? Like, I think that he's looking at it and he's like, it's not her. Like, oh, the girl that Dobu showed me wasn't her, wasn't the missing girl. And so it's like, okay, so one of two things could be happening here. Let's call the missing girl Yuki, right? To differentiate her from Mitsuya. Yuki got into Odokawa's taxi, and she was the original member of Mystery Kiss when Imai went to see them. She got into Odokawa's taxi. Sometime later, Rui killed her. She died. Mitsuya was the replacement for Yuki, okay? And Mitsuya is not the missing girl. She's like perfectly fine. She just ran away from home or whatever. And she's not even the boss's daughter. Yuki was the boss's daughter and was replaced by Mitsuya. That's one option, right? Very straightforward. The second option is a bit more complicated. And that was that Rui killed Yuki, but Yuki is just some random person, okay? And Mitsuya took Yuki's identity, but is the boss's daughter, if that makes sense. And so basically, like in one version of events, Yuki is the missing girl and Mitsuya just replaced her. In the alternative of events, Yuki was some random girl, but Mitsuya is the girl who ran away from home. Sorry, boss's classmate's daughter, right? And so Mitsuya is boss's classmate's daughter that ran away, but is not the girl who was dead. Okay, so current Mitsuya is the runaway, but she is not Yuki Mitsuya, right? So that's the alternative, and that's the one that I'm leaning more towards, is that the runaway replaced the dead girl, not that the runaway is the dead girl. I hope that that's clear. And so then, I think we have Rui trying to be like in disguise or something. Since I was a child, I hated losing more than others. And so I feel like that has to do with maybe her reasoning for like killing Yuki or whatever, you know what I mean? Like killing like the missing girl, let's just call her that. Killing the dead person, right? Because the dead person may not be the missing girl. You know what I mean? Like it may be like more complicated, as I already mentioned. So I think maybe Rui killed her because she was supposed to be the leader of the group or something like that. And so then I think like I'm thinking about entering a training school next year. Maybe that's I'll turn the comedy industry on its head. Maybe that's a giraffe guy or that's Tachi. See, and so now we get a weird scene with Rui because Rui's in this room with pretend Mitsuya, or as we, you know what I mean? With, I don't even know. I didn't even know. And so then Rui seems to be torn up about something. So yeah, I feel like, and then we see, right, like, look at this. Look at this girl, and she seems to have this like very weird look on her face, like the smug expression, right? And so it's like, I feel like that next episode is gonna reveal like which one it is, right? Because like I said, either the missing girl is boss's classmate's daughter and is dead, and Mitsuya was the fake replacement, or the boss's classmate's daughter is fake Mitsuya, right? And then the dead girl is not the missing girl. They just look the same. And so they thought it was the same. So yeah, very complicated, but I think I've outlined my theories pretty well. Can't wait to see what happens in the next one. I hope that you guys enjoyed my review, and that is it from me. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for attending Calxiyn's Royal Court, and I will see you next time. Bye!